Elden Ring has been easily the biggest launch of the Soulsborne games, and for that reason it has brought a lot of new players into the series. So I thought I'd make a video with the 10 most important things new players should know about Elden Ring. This video is specifically meant for new players of the series, but I'll have another 10 more advanced tips coming out later, so make sure you subscribe for that video so you won't miss it. Alright, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is runes. Runes are everything when you start your game. At the same time, they're your XP as well as your money. So you can't level straight away when you start, but once you've rested at 3 sites of grace, you'll unlock your horse as well as Melina, who will allow you to turn runes into levels. The rune requirement for a level will gradually go up, so you want to keep in mind what your current requirement is, and level as often as you can. Because if you die and are unable to get your runes before you die again, all of those runes are gone. Also, as you adventure, you'll find different tiers of runes as items. These are essentially rune packs, so each tier gives you a different amount of runes when you use them. It's nice to have some in reserve because these can save you in a situation where you're just a few hundred runes off a level and don't want to bother going to fight another enemy. So something I've seen a lot of confusion around is stamina. So I wanted to add this here. Everything in combat causes you to drain stamina. Not just attacking, but blocking, rolling, jumping, and sprinting. If you have 1 stamina left, you can do any move that takes any amount of stamina. But if you have 0 stamina, you're in a really bad place and vulnerable to being staggered, and should probably retreat. Just pressing your dodge button to roll out of the way is pretty intuitive, but the idea of the amount of iframes, or invincibility frames, can be quite confusing at first. But the point is that you can't just continuously roll and be invincible. You need to time your dodges before a hit connects, not when the animation plays. This is the reason why you need to start learning the moveset, and can't just dodge as soon as the enemy does something. The basic controls for Torrent can be a bit confusing at first. If you've been running around having a hard time because you're trying to align all enemies on the right side of Torrent, you should know that the left side bumper and trigger will do the same attacks, but on the left side. Also, if you're having trouble running around and jumping various distances, remember that Torrent can double jump by just pressing jump twice. Resting on a Lost Grace probably does more than you thought. Not only is it your way to get your health back and reset enemies, resting on a Bonfire also progresses any NPCs that might be ready to move on to a next step. It can also refresh the area, which is mostly used at night to get a bonus boss or such. So right now I'll provide you with a little rest from the video to ask you to like the video if you've enjoyed it so far. It helps a lot more than you think, but enough of that. Let's move on. With 31 weapon categories and 171 different spells and incantations, the different builds are an integral part of the Elden Ring experience. So the most important thing you need to remember is to not think that your starting class defines what you can do. You can put points to whatever you want and create a build exactly for you. And don't worry, even within your playthrough, you can unlock the ability to respec all of the points that you've allocated since your first level. It does require an item to do, but there are 13 of them that you can find in a single playthrough. Also, while it really is your call to throw your points wherever you want, do not neglect Vigor. If you haven't put any points in Vigor and are getting one-shot by bosses, that is on you. Hi! Pretty soon in the game, once you get to Round Table Hold, you meet Master Hugh, the blacksmith. He will be able to improve your weapons as much as the game allows, and as long as you have the materials. And strengthening your weapons should definitely not be neglected. You can improve your normal weapons, the ones that use smithing stones, all the way to plus 25. And your unique weapons, the ones that use somber smithing stones, all the way to plus 10. And don't hold back on upgrading your starter weapon. If you keep upgrading your starting weapon, you can go through the whole game never changing out of it. A strengthened starter weapon is in almost every single case a stronger weapon than any endgame weapon that you have not strengthened. Across your journey, you're going to run across different kinds of consumables. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory, and if you're not sure, you just press the square when you're in the inventory to get a better explanation on what it does. But something that you might run into issues with are the greases. The greases are items that infuse your weapons with different elements. So if you're wondering why you can't use your grease, or for that matter, your weapon incantations or spells, that is most likely because your weapon already has some element on it. You can easily check that by looking at your weapon in your inventory and seeing if it has any other damage than physical, or if it's a unique weapon. Just like all other Soulsborne games, Elden Ring is tough as nails. So as you keep on going, you might find yourself getting stuck beyond just getting good. In such case, don't be afraid to back off and go exploring somewhere else. The great thing is that there is so much to find and do that you can definitely find something else to do, so you can level up and find some upgrade materials, so you're better equipped to later return to the fight and beat it more powerful than ever. If you end up making the mistake of hopping onto the forums or Reddit, you will find one of the most gatekeepy communities out there. You'll find people that think that there's exactly one way to play the game legitimately, and people just trying to outdo each other on how challenging the game should be and what you're allowed to use. Ignore literally everyone. I know that sounds harsh, but there's a lot of bad actors. And play the game exactly the way that you want and use every mechanic within the game, since that is the way it was intended. Even though people on the community might say different. If you find the game too easy, limit yourself. Don't whine to others that they have it too easy. As a bonus tip for all new players, do yourself the favor and venture to the southern island to the westernmost part. Here you will find the isolated merchant, and he sells the lantern. Trust me, this is the single best purchase in the entire game. It is a reusable light source that you can use in every single dark area in the game for the whole rest of the playthrough. And trust me, you will be using it a lot. Mainly though, just enjoy your experience in any way that you want. Be patient, get frustrated, smash your head against the wall, and then jump out of joy. It's truly a roller coaster in every single way. I do hope you enjoyed this video or found it useful. If you did, remember to like the video and subscribe for more future Elden Ring and other gaming content. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.